I've known all along. I had to be quiet. Shh, baby, don't say a word until God Almighty tells you when it's time. Yes, Papa. My great grandpapa was sitting book. He come to me in spirit. He tells me what they did to me. And Judge White Bean, the hanging judge in Texas, my other papa. No, baby. You'll come from the bears and the lions. Sit still and listen. God will teach you, you know. He is your dad. My papa. And Chief, go on. He come. Eagle no. The eagle had dress on all. Hey, baby. You go. Soar unto the eagles where the angels sing. Shh, don't tell nobody until Dada tells you. And I listen to Abba all the time I talk to him, Dada. They knew who I was all along. They thought they'd torture me and do all these things. And I'm Melanchonist, I'm indigenous Blackfeet. Dan, Louis Boykin, and Papa Boykin come. He tells me, pack your things and go. When I was with Larry D. Wayne Cooper, I was confused, so I go to Grandma Bean in 2008. It's been a lifetime of abuse. And that's what they do to people. And then they're like, oh, they're crazy because it's hard to explain everything of all the abuse and all the violations. But people don't want to listen. They just want to assume that, oh, well, they're right. You know, that's their mom. But she was never mom. My grandma Dorothy Bean was my mom. My grandpa John Marion Bean was my dad, and I always thought it was so cute. And to tell my grandma and my grandpa, I know you're grandma, grandpa, but you're more like mom and dad. And I was blessed to be around my great grandparents. And oh my God, my mama, my grandma's mom, she hated Willie Nelson. I picked up on it real quick. And Grandma kept telling her, Ma, stop. Baby, no. The baby, no. Little eyes, does she have little ears that hear and have little mouths that speak truth? And she always knew I always told the truth. I was a good baby. And they always made it out I was this tormentorous child that caused all kinds of harm and was devilish and lie all the time. But that was not me. That was Linda. I heard all the stories about what happened to JFK and why they murdered him. He was imperfect, but they wanted to sit there and say all that shit just like they did with Abraham Lincoln, and then they get rid of the penny. You fucking bring my penny back. Penny for your thoughts, and I'll give you 2 cents. That's why that saying is. And if you would have looked at my eyes, you would have seen. This is on my grandfather's side, maternal still side, but then on my maternal side was George Washington. Oh, I know, he's the one that started the Freemasons, but the Freemasons, if you listen, the start of it was free Masons. They stood for God Almighty, and they gave us good foundation in infrastructure and technology that would blow your minds away because you can't figure it out. Just like Nikola Tesla. Einstein. They called him weird and shit because he's highly intelligent. They did the same thing to me. Why do you want to do your brother's schoolwork? You're in the 7th grade. He's in the 9th grade. Hey, because he's failed twice already, and I don't want to go to the same class with him. Sorry, not sorry. And then plus, they don't change the curricula, so I do it now in 7th grade. I already have it done in 9th grade. And they tested me in 7th grade. This is the Gates program, you know, with the little headphones. And do you hear this? Do you hear that? Why are you doing this? And then after they fucking discovered that I was one of the chosen, that's when they start working on doing the torture and the ungodlies. And Grandpa told me at first I was so mad at Grandpa for molesting me, and it's like on his deathbed, he lived out on that 10 acres, the land behind my mother stole from them. Same thing, quit claim deed. Can you see? You lying. Anyway, it's just been so much. My grandpa, I could read his eyes. He had the same eyes. They used to always say, "You got shit brown eyes." I look a little closer and you can see the blue ring. Indigo. Starseed. And then they want to say, "Oh, you're like an alien." They used to make fun of me because I would pick up on shit, and they'd call me and say, telling me the fucking ET phone home shit, and then they're saying, "Oh no, that wasn't really a line in the script." Yeah, just like Berenstein and Berenstein. Yeah, okay. Fruit of the Loom, cornucopia. That's why they had the fucking John Wick, The Matrix. That's why it was all a mockery, man. All of it. But Grandpa tells me on his deathbed that he never wanted to. It's diabolical. He asks God for forgiveness every day, and then I hear my grandma screaming in the kitchen, falling to her knees. "Lord, forgive us. Lord, forgive me." I had to go get my grandma up. I'm giving her a hug and looking her in the eye and telling her, "Grandma, I love you so. I understand, but please explain." And that's when they told me they had to do what they did so they could infiltrate that cult, that satanic cult is worldwide. It's organized crime. And then that's when Michael Jackson made the song "Annie, Are You Okay?" It's a smooth criminal. Annie, you okay? I know I'm not okay. They're the babies and they don't care. They think it's funny. They dropped us off in the fucking middle of the forest. I didn't know where we were. I was just a baby. They had the little girls dressed in white nightgowns, and the little boys had the little white shirt and shorts. Most of us were all blonde hair, some brown, some red. I changed throughout the seasons of my life. Platinum blonde to dishwater blonde to this weird auburn hair with red highlights, and then I started getting the streaks. Everybody was mad at me because that was the same time with when they were doing the sun in and for the highlights, and I didn't have to do any of that. And I didn't have a six-pack, I had an 8-pack. Thigh muscles were fucking so pronounced like fucking Thor. Why did they teach mythology if it's all fake? Why do you teach us fake shit in school if it's not real? Liars. And then they take the Bible out, but the Bible was the first book of all schools in the United States of America. I was always proud to be American, but then low-life democrats with dill-hole rhinos that fence walk both sides. There's so much evil, and they did it just to steal all of our money. And look at all the billions that they send to Iran. Fucking Obama. He's an abomination of desolation. Fucking Akhenaten reincarnated, and he even made mockery about saying that he was what do you call it? He made we look alike. He did the video, and it was desolations because in Israel they stopped the ceremony of praising to God. What the fuck, Israel? It even warns you in the first 5 books of the Holy Bible, where you deny New Testament. Why? Because you still think that the Messiah is coming. No, that would be the Mahdi. And that's the Antichrist. And then they want to sit there and say that all roads lead to God. No, there's only one road, and that's through Jesus. Yeshua HaMashiach. I kept looking at God on his throne and looking next to him, and Jesus' throne is empty, and I got so concerned. And Daddy, Dada, he's no baby, don't worry, it's okay. Where's Jesus? Where's my brother? And then that's when I realized that he was carrying me. I'm the one that wrote the footprints in the sand. Because Dada dies the line in the sand. And y'all kept pushing and pushing and pushing. And he told you that he will shorten the time. Because y'all push. And you pushed too far. Y'all went beyond ungodly. Y'all did extra on me. Trying to break me, and I not break. I stay with God. Who are you? Who are you? I stay with my Father, God Almighty. He's my creator. And then y'all misinterpret when it says to honor thy father and thy mother. Y'all make it out to be his parents. But the true parents is Father God Almighty, who created all life, and Mother Earth. And she's being, she's human, but she's all things. And that's why it says that we are all one. Because Creator Father God arts in heaven. And any artist knows you can take this and take that. And, they say one man's trash is one another man's treasure. So all the trash that Linda did on the property in Pottawatomie County, Wynette, is what they had me in. It was closer to Tribby. Noble was across the street. Yeah, literally. Norman. I have Choctaw. I have Shawnee Indian. Sioux. Lakota. Hopi, I can go on and on. I have people come to me and say, "You look like you're Asian. Why do you have the eye like that?" And I'm like, what? I have people bitch out. I have big eyes. You got big bug eyes. Oh my, what big eyes you have. Oh God, here we go again. Little Red Riding Hood. And that big bad wolf thought he could. I'm going to Grandma's house. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Just like when they sat me in the lap of that man, they didn't tell you their names. They would even give you mockingbird names, like, just whatever. And I had flashback when I seen him as bullshit president, not my president. Nobody even recognized him in IRS as president. And they didn't even put his picture up. They even fucking made a comment. They're in Austin, Texas, off of Ben White. Ooh. There's a name for you, Sam Houston. Houston, we have a problem. It's you. But anyway, not NASA always, never a straight answer. Because they don't go outside the firmament. They lie. They lie to fit with Darwin's theory. It's Scientology. It's science. I'm going to blind you with science, is what I heard God say. He is the architect. Make mockery. My people try to tell you over and over again, I am Latino and Mexican. Tejas. And then you blame them, claiming that, the open borders and we gotta take you back. No. And none of my Hispanic Latinas, and the mamas and the papas were trying to find their children and they were fucking coyoted. Fucking not animal coyote mockery again. Stealing the children from even their own people. Not because why El Chapo, El Guapo. Or the Three Amigos even tried to tell you about it. There was actually three amigos, for real, in real life. My great-grandfather, Judge White Bean, the Indian judge of Texas, west of the Pecos. And he's got a pet bear, and he likes alcohol. Who's gonna argue with a man with a pet bear? Nobody. Ain't that right, Putin? Nobody messes with the bear. And look what y'all blame Russia for fucking Nazi Germany bullshit. That was fucking Hitler. And y'all stupid idiots. And you're feminazis. Oh, all women can do anything a man can. Maybe so, but we're not supposed to, you fucking idiot. Here's my Tourette's again. No, it's calling it proper name for proper content of what you get. And women are not to be subservient, but we're supposed to be subservient, if that makes any sense to y'all. Like, we're not beneath anyone. No, man. We're not beneath you. We're not like a dog. And even you don't like the dog, it's like, really? Why? Because you lie. All along with that concubine's bloodline. Jezebel. And then Lucifer in the ear. They set you up, man. They'll send people in that they know is easily bought and paid for. Everybody has a price, they say. Not everybody, no. I will not compromise. I won't surrender. What the fuck's... I know the truth. Why do you insist? What y'all did to Ozzy, man? What you did to Kiss? Gene Simmons, man. They're of the devil. Like with Iron Maiden. Spelled maiden for a reason. Why? Iron. And y'all are of clay. You took the symbolism and then you fucking twisted it to fit your fucking agenda. It's not your agenda. You don't have no right. It's God's agenda. Man, that fucking allergies. One of the girls here, she's like, I got some clarity, because I was like, man, I took her some food. She's all excited. We had gotten some eggs from the pantry, and so I took her some, because that's a expense that a lot of people can't afford. And I had some real butter, little bitty sticks though, it's just a little bit, but the taste is the best of real butter. I always get the salted kind, non-salted for your baking, but then you gotta add salt, so why don't you just fucking use the salted butter? Same chemical compound. When you cook, things change. And so when they use these synthetics, these preservatives, that they're not preserving nothing, this poison to us. And they blame it on the red dye, red 40, it's bug paint. Well, we used to use to dye fabrics and textiles. I was always amazed how they did the weaving. I got to do it before. But I could never... I think it's because I hated the counting. Just like with the granny square. Grandma, I don't want to count. Well, maybe you have to count. But I don't want to count. Why? Because if you fucking miss stitch, you gotta pull it all out. Really? I gotta start all over? Yeah, because you missed that stitch. I don't like this one. Can I stay with the straightaway and do my own? Oh yeah, baby, just do as you do. Okay. I made blankets for my grandchildren with my son Jacob Joseph. And Benjamin. I made king size blankets. Called them baby blankets to grow with the baby. And I knew Benjamin is gonna be a big boy like his dad. And just like my great-grandpa. My great-grandpa's daddy was 7 foot. Just like Abraham Lincoln. But that Abraham was on my grandpa's side. My great grandmother, her parents were Dutch Irish and different bloodlines too, but their last name was Dunn, D-U-N-N. I asked Grandma, how come there's no pictures of Mama? Why didn't you say I look like Mama? Spitting image. But she had the big uh, bottleneck glasses. You could hardly see her eyes because she could hardly see. Blind as bat. Well, Grandma, it seems like you can see just fine without glasses, but it's a gift, baby. You'll have the same. And they did. They fucked up my eyes. I had the LASIK done. It freaked me out, and I was like, you got to give people a bear or a pillow or something when you flippy the flappy because it makes you feel like you're all falling down. And you go to fucking brace yourself, and they're screaming, don't move, you got a red laser in your eye. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. Well, you should have gave me something to hold on to. A fucking bar, like you're on the roller coaster, man. And then the next time when I went in to going back to check your eyes and shit, see how things are doing. And I see this patient walking by getting ready to have his eyes done. And he's holding a big baby bear. Oh, yeah, y'all got the teddy bears. And she's like, yeah, that was a really good idea. You get somebody to hold on and brace yourself. And we thought it was the cutest thing when you showed a bear. And someone had one. I think it was the eye doctor. I don't remember. It's been just so much. And that's why people will say, oh, she's crazy. Oh, she's a conspiracist. It's conspiracy. Just like what they did to Alex Jones. They just wanted to ruin his life. Why? Because he's telling the truth. He infiltrated fucking Bohemian Grove. Yeah, I remember being there. I remember seeing that big owl, and then they were saying that it was Ball, B-A-L-L. I didn't know what that was when I was little. It was strange to me with their chanting and fornicating. It made me so sick to my stomach. I wanted to go home. I would beg God, take me home. But I knew I had to go through it so I would know. And I could spot it in little girls, I could spot it in boys. Even as adults, I could spot it. Your eyes are your windows to your soul, and you can see, but they act like, no, it's just conspiracy. But that conspiracy means someone's conspiring to do diabolical things. That's what that means. I mean, I started reading the dictionary when I was like 5, 6. I decided I was going to read the dictionary and learn all the English words because the English language was one of the hardest languages to learn. You know what I mean? Because you can be mean. You know what I mean? And one word can have meaning of multiple things. And that's why, other countries have such a hard time catching on to the lingo. Wait. There's a tabby cat here, and he was mowing, and me and Thomas was like, hey, Kiki, come on. And Tomas is like, man, I ain't got no cat food left. They ate it all already, and they don't know if I have enough money. And his family's done him the same. Seeing something fly by the window, I don't know. That was weird. Anyway, then the cat come in, And he started acting like my George, like wanting to he did this play fight, and then he's like, and then I hear Tomas. He likes it's Tomas. It's not Thomas. It's Tomas. But whatever. But I heard Tomas say, "Hey, you're biting me," and I was, oh my God! See, I was right. He's acting like George. My George of the Jungle. He's the best kitty ever. He's a big cat though. He took 2 arms to hold him. For me, he was big compared to me. He would lay out in me, and he would be from my shoulders to my knees. He was such a long kitty. Big boy. And so then this tabby cat he's playing, and he's like play fighting. And so I did the little down there with them. And he lunged and he goes and bites the hand. And so then I got my finger and I go la 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 in his mouth, and he's like ah, and then I was like, oh my God, you're acting just like George. And George, he had that shit right there. So I miss you badly. I begged for my cat. I begged and begged. They even brought it up about, hey, you fucking illegally removing me. And he's like, the owner wants you to leave. And I'm like, I am the owner. Why he wants your phone number? What the fuck for? He's already harassing me on Facebook, sending me friend requests. He followed me to fucking Louisiana and paid that dude Aaron Knotts, Knotts, I think it was TT. And then the fucking bullshit preacher Willie Fleming in Alabama. And everybody there trying to convince me, and then I had the cops fucking attack me, telling me I needed to leave this fucking condemned house because Willie wanted me gone. That's interesting. I remember I went to church with him and Tina. And he got up there, they were allowing them to preach. It was a cute little church, but they're preaching the prosperity shit. That you pay your tithes, then God will bless you. That's not paying tithes. Money's not paying tithes. It's your works, helping another human that's struggling, seeing somebody out and about sad. You ask them what's wrong, and they tell you their whole life story, and you let them know that God loves them, Jesus, and you. And I've given homeless people, as I was homeless, barely had anything. I share what I have. There was this one guy in Austin. He was having a drug overdose, and I just made sweet tea. And I demanded that they get him sat down. I laid out a blanket real fast and told him to try to keep him cool. I'm gonna get some sweet tea, and I had a little bit of food stamps left from the Alabama. Oh, no, I didn't make it to Alabama yet. It was Oklahoma's food stamps. And then I got the tea. It is cold, and made him a big glass, and I said, here, try, please try and get the tea. And he grabbed it and chugged it. And then it was like all of a sudden he was better than what he was. He was not spiraling into the drug overdose any longer. And he looked at me and he said, "You're my angel. You knew sweet tea was the key. How did you know?" Because God tells me. It's inherited. It's inherited. And then they go steal my inheritance, rightfully mine, because they had so much jealousy and hate built up in them over the years. It still hurts my heart looking back when Scott's standing in my Uncle Richard's kitchen. We just got back from his funeral. He just went to get his knee drained of liquid on his knee. He's diabetic. And then they said that he had sepsis. And then I get cellulitis on my face. And Miss Scott looked me dead in the eye and told me how much the entire family hated me. It wasn't even just an improper time to say such things. I was grieving my uncle that I loved so dearly. It is so wrong. It was so wrong. I loved my cousins. I loved them all. Even the ones that weren't technically blood, but I was raised with them. Vicky, Lynn, and Bobby. He had a speech impediment. He had the stutter. And I used to always tell him that it's your nerves. It's okay, and nobody's gonna make fun of you. But everybody made fun of him. And I always tell him it's okay. And Paul and Scott, my brother Paul and Scott, and they held me under the water. I used to swim like a fish, and I still can't swim underwater because of it. Yeah, Grandma kept telling Grandpa Johnny to try to kill her. And Grandpa, he's just steadily doing his little violin, and he's like, "No, Dorothy, babe, don't go soon, dear. They can't kill the baby. Not one hair on her head will be harmed. No weapon." But it sure did fucking hurt. The torture treatments and MK Ultra, extra, read all about it. And they give you a number and they even made mockery on it. It's because it's the trucker lingo. CB, breaker, 1-9er, do you copy? 10-4, good buddy. BR 549, do you copy? Echo, 49ers, I copy. The Bears. Walking back from Cullen Junior High, I was walking with my friend. She's little bitty like I had her on the inside of the sidewalk away from the road. And I seen this white van. We could see her house. We could fucking see her house on the corner. My house. Around the corner from where I lived. Just 2 blocks away from where I lived. Technically, I mean, it was the way it's shaped, but. And her dad was Charlie's Angels, the Hells Angels. But this van come driving really weird slow. I had already seen it further back because we have to walk a mile from Cullen to get home. It was a really nice day too. When we went that route, because there was more shade trees, there's more shade than walking where King High School and Meadowbrook Elementary was. And then they seen them coming up, like they were coming up from Everhart. And I don't remember that road's name, that the neighborhood we were walking on. It was down the road was my gymnastics class. On the corner to the right, all the way down. But they came and then all of a sudden they stopped. And both dudes jumped out and they tried to push me aside and get her. She was a little smaller than I. Motherfucker. I started kicking and screaming and grabbing her. And then I got her away from the one guy. As the other guy was behind me trying to do shit to me. And I pushed her and then was screaming, yeah, run home. Now run. Because she was in so much shock. She didn't know what to do. She's like standing there. So she ran when I told her run. Then I started screaming and the 2 dudes got scared and took off. And her dad was supposed to be coming home. That's what she was so excited about. And I knew he was of the biker gang. Everybody knew. I mean, how could you not? There's badass fucking bikes driving by. I was always in awe. Wow, that's a nice bike. Harley, wow. Back in the day when Harley was back in the day. And she ran in and told her dad and they called, the rest of the gang members and the males and that's uncles. So she's telling her dad and her uncles, not by blood, but by blood. That makes sense. But if you know, you know, right? So she tells them what happened, and I finally got to her house, and I'm just standing there, and one of the guys was standing outside, like barricading the front door, doing the lookout shit, and he tells me, you stay right there, young lady. And yes, sir. Waiting for the big papa to come out. And then he comes out, and then his daughter stayed inside, my friend. He started questioning me what happened. I told him about the 2 dudes in the white van that I noticed drive by prior before we got there. And then they came back up from Everhart. They jumped out and they tried to take your daughter, and no, man, no. Hell no. Then they brought me inside, and they gave me a Coca-Cola. I was really thirsty. And they told me to describe the van again, a white creeper van. And 2 dudes. One was like a sandy blonde and the other one was like a darker brown hair, both longer hair. One One of them had a mustache, the other one not so much, but still scruffy looking, like 5 o'clock shadow or something. And he asked me which way they go, and I was like, they kept going straight. And they jumped on their bikes, and the way they went. I don't know what happened to them, and I really don't care, but whatever they got is what they deserved. And that's the way men should treat other men that are trying to pedophile a child or steal them from their family. You beat on your wives, we'll beat the fuck out of you. And they told me about the soap in the sock. You stuff the corners stuff the blanket into the bed when he's sleeping. You commenced to beat the fuck out of him. And that was the last time Daniel and Numbers ever beat me again. Because I told him, you always have to go to sleep. And I can stay up for days, but you cannot. I can still go all day long, taking care of the babies, cleaning the house, yada yada. And by the third time, I'm exhausted, but that'll keep going if you insist. And they told me that they used to take the men out back if they heard of them beating on the woman. And they'd beat the shit out of them and tell them that we'll be back if you do this again. And there won't be a next time after that. Back in the day, the wild, wild west. Wild, wild west. I wish I lived back in those days because, women stayed home with the children and took care of the home. I should be. Children need to be rendered and taught well. They don't need to be beaten and yelled and screamed at. And don't get me wrong, there'd be times then, man, my children would get on my last nerve, especially Jacob. That child would not fucking stop. And when I'm meaning not stop, it was like he would go and like, dude, you've kept mom up for 3 days now. I've not gotten much sleep, and I was taking care of Victoria, Brian Larson's little girl. I had 2 babies in diapers and trying to potty train Jacob. And then I was like, oh, you need to give him something to aim on. And when you're out and about, little boys don't have patience as much as girls. You could tell them, hold on, baby, we got to get to the potty. Okay, we make it to the potty. Sometimes accident, but not so much. But Jacob, boys, they ain't got no time. They tell you last fucking minute, I gotta pee. And then, psst. Okay, boy, you're gonna pee on the tire if you can't make it to the bathroom in the Walmart. Or the HEB. Pee on the tree. Here's some Cheerios. You need to aim in the toilet, young man. And one day, they tell Joey Ballard, Patty's little boy, her firstborn, he's such a cutie pie. And Jacob, and what's funny is we both called our sons Jojo before we even met each other. So it was our little Jojos, and like Joe Cool, Snoopy. And they're like, I gotta pee, and then the other one, I gotta pee too. So they go, okay, y'all better behave. And then I hear them fucking laughing and shit in the bathroom. So I go in there, and these little 2 little shits are spraying everywhere. I get it. Fucking allergies. But I go in there and they're doing that, and Patty at first was like, what the fuck? Hold on. They're gonna clean it up. but they're gonna learn their lesson real quick. I get it. It's like target practice, right? Yeah, mama. And little Joey. Yes. They called me Aunt Kim. And then they said, hey, you do that shit outside, not in the bathroom. Because look at now all the pee all over the like, how did they make the ceiling? I don't know. Aim high, I guess. Fuck. Shit. Target practice, man. Damn. So that's when I started throwing the Cheerios and telling them, I double dog dare you to sink that Cheerio. Y'all gotta aim. Sink it. And then they used to watch the Little Rascals, the newer one, all the time. And Jacob loved Alfalfa, especially when he sang to Darla, you're so beautiful to me. He would sing it to me. My son. And they got into this she-man, he-man, she-hater club. And we're not taking a bath. And if you tell them you better go take a bath, and then they just like go in and splash water. Boy, I still smell your bedhead. Get your ass in the bath. No. They refused. I bet. Told Patty, watch the babies. I'll be right back. I'm going to go run across the street to Walmart. It's now Tractor Supply from Portobello. Off a Wheeler. And I went and I got a kiddie pool and and some No More Tears, you know, the Equate brand, because it's cheaper. And alright, well, we're gonna have a pool party. And beknownst to them little boys, they were taking a bubble bath and getting nice and squeaky clean. You think you ain't taking a bath, but... And then, next thing I know, it's like all the kids from the neighborhood, next cul-de-sac, she had all boys, and a few down the road, and a few little girls. They just adored Amberly, always wanting to carry her and play and dress up baby doll, because she was such a baby doll. She was so gorgeous. And one of the moms says, hey, what made you think of that? And I say, well, sometimes with children you gotta think outside the box. And they were kind of like betting you that you can't make them take a bath. And, well, shit, I'm mom. You want to bet? So you let them think that they're just having a pool party with bubbles. Good Lord, we had Portobello with bubbles floating fucking everywhere around. It was funny. And the whole damn neighborhood. Then we started barbecuing and having a great time. Kids were worn out, so I made a pallet for the bed, put some Looney Tunes on, and they're all passed out by 9 o'clock. Bellies fed. They had their chocolate chip cookies that I made from scratch. The little Jojo, he would always come up and, hi Kim, can I have a chocolate chip cookie? Did you eat your supper, young man? Yeah, I ate it all. You ate it all? God, look. And he's showing me his plate. Look, the little dude really ate it all his veggies, everything. So did Jacob and little Dylan. Before he got burned real bad news. Ornery little shit, but good baby. They're highly intelligent. All of them were. Amberly was talking in full sentences. And she was barely even one. But of course she was talking in full sentences. She had other kids that she was socializing with, and she adored her brother. And her brother adored her. It was beautiful to watch. And Joey and Dylan, they absolutely adored Amber. And we called her Amber because it's shorter, but she's Amberly Rose. L-Y. Old school English. Not hooked on phonics. And then one of the moms was like, I can't believe it worked. And then we all had a blast, and we had communion with our community. And I'm the one that started the hand-me-downs because Jacob was bigger than everybody. And we were all poor. We were all struggling, but look what I have, I give. And so I started asking around, hey, you got clothes to fit, anybody. Jacob never had anybody have hand-me-downs because he was too big and head taller than them all. And it wasn't that he was like big as in heavy, he was tall, head taller than everybody. And his pants would he'd outgrow them. So he mainly just wore shorts. He liked them longer to his knee, or not quite to his knee, And then Joey and Dylan were the same. Well, because they all hung out together, and little Robert, freezing on. Man, that child has acrobatic abilities. I used to always tell Velma we need to get him into acrobats so he could go and be Olympic. The child had amazing abilities, no fear whatsoever. That's when Jacob decides they all climbing up the tree, and he's like, look, Mom, I'm Superman, and he jumps. Oh my God, he made a perfect landing, and then he lost footing and landed straight on his elbow. Had to go straight to the fucking ER. Oh. When the ER was still there in Aransas Pass. It's been a long, hard life. But I took it in stride. I still try to be happy and not hold grudges. I hold no hate. I hate because it ruins so many people's lives. If people hold grudges. That's why it says in the Lord's Prayer to forgive us of our trespasses, of we forgive those who trespass against us. And that's like if someone has a bad day or something and you snap at them and you're like, look, I'm sorry, man, I didn't mean, you had nothing to do with it, and I snapped your head off, I'm sorry. But we both clashed because it takes two to tango, right? And some people can't let that go. Some people can. But those other ones, they feed on this hate and jealousy, and then they want to laugh at you and mock you and scoff you and gossip. It's called whoremongering. The gagglers. I never understood it. And for the longest time it bothered me because I couldn't wrap my head around holding so much hate for one person. And then people you don't even know jump on their bandwagon because they don't like the way you look. And I'm like, I didn't choose the way I look. I didn't choose my bloodline. Nobody did. God did. And then you want to pit us against each other because our skin tone is different. Their hair is different. My hair is different. Her hair is different. Oh, fuck off. We're all human. Every one of us. I don't care about your bloodline. And then when I go to get my GED, they got this questionnaire, 5 different fucking questions, but it's the same question. Do you have any Latino? Are you Spanish or Hispanic? Or do you have any indigenous Indian bloodline? Are you African American? Why are you asking me these questions? And I kept on and on with the chick. I would like to know why I'm filling out this questionnaire, and the whole questionnaire is pretty much about race, bloodline. Why? They say no discrimination, but this whole thing is discriminatory. Why? And she's like, oh, because they get an easier test. And I'm like, who's they? Oh, the Latinos, the Hispanics, the Mexicans, the African Americans, the, any other foreigner. Why? Oh, well, because, the English language, and it's easier for them. So what you're saying is that you're assuming they're stupid. I'm indigenous, melunginous. Can't put me in corner or category or cage. I'm a free bird. Let freedom ring. I have Braveheart. They make mockery of everything, right? And that's nothing against Mel Gibson. I love the dude. He's a good guy. God-fearing man. He knows better. He knows about the demon world. The fucking demonics. That's why they did that hooked on phonics bullshit. And your stupid cell phones was Black Mirror. That's where they do the Black Mirror magic. The same thing with the television. Tell you a lie. Tell you a vision. Grandpa used to repeat that all the time. Don't listen to what they say. Although that they did put out TV shows that it did teach you. Like Dick Van Dyke and Mr. Rogers, Sesame Street, and everything is good. And then, Elmo's World. I loved Elmo. The animal with the drums. And then they even had Oscar the Grouch and Snuffleupagus. Big Bird. Big Bird. Pink Panther. Roadrunner. Speedy Gonzales. And his cousin. He carries a gun. And me and Patty were called the Speedy. She was Speedy, and I was her cousin. I'm so tired. What they did was so wrong. It was so wrong. You had no right, Potawatomi County and Shawnee, Oklahoma Sheriff's Department, the entire Sheriff's Department. You stole my painting from Virgil McGraw. That was a personal painting to me before he died. So, he pointed at it, said he wanted that painting right there. That was his. What the fuck? This is the night that they threw me into that fucking mental health ward in Norman. Or is it Oklahoma City? I can't remember. I think it's Norman. I don't fucking know. I don't care. I hate Oklahoma. I hate you. I hate you. You made me a federal stay in code 1842, and then I flee 5 states. They came to Texas first. That fucking bitch at that fucking hotel. I even got a video where I'm telling that chick that worked for those people, I love you. And if you paid attention, you could see it and hear it in my fucking eyes. And then they call the cops on me at like not even 15 minutes after so-called checkout time. I had money in my bank, so what happened to it? Disappeared. It's all gone. And then my cell phone's being shut off, but I paid May, June, and July. What the fuck happened? And Dolly Linda put $5,000 in my bank account before I left. I had a letter stuffed up in my fucking handle to my truck in 2008 Dodge. That fucking stupid bitch lawyer in Durant. Oh, I seen all that trash in your truck, you lying fucking cunt. That was all my clothes. And then my food was in the floorboard, and because you got to keep all your water and shit out of the sun. And that was from the food pantry. And then in the back, I had my clothes, dirty clothes in the laundry bag, and then I had other clothes. And then when I was finally able to clean the clothes in the laundry bag, then I put them back in the laundry bag. I hadn't washed them. What you're teaching me is diabolical. I went to the welcome centers, the roadside, to where you could park, it's where the truckers park. And you can go to the bathroom and get something to drink and snack out of the vending machine. And this one, that was weird. Okay. They gave me a Dr. Pepper. I was real weak from the hypoglycemia. I have to have sugar. So it's discrimination that I can't buy soda. It helps with my colitis, with my intestines. The carbonation helps it move. And don't tell me to drink ginger ale, because I can't stand that shit. I'm allergic to lemons and limes, so I can't do Sprite or anything like that. And oh my God, Hawaiian Punch will, it's like them giving me morphine. It's projectile right back up. Yeah. And I don't like cake and ice cream together. Never have. I don't like peanut butter and jelly together. I never have. I don't like marshmallows, but I like Rice Krispie treats. And I do like the part that's burnt. Like I can eat 1 or 2 marshmallows at the campfire, but I don't want all the chocolate and shit with it. I'll eat the chocolate later. I got a lot of funny stories, good times, happy memories, a lot of horror stories. And I don't like scary movies because that's how people have actually died, and I don't get entertainment from people being killed in whatever way. They've tried to kill me, and then many times I've been poisoned. You can still feel the ridges on my nails. My teeth are rotting from the inside out. They did so much human experimenting on me and then paying my family. Always watching me. Always following. When you tell people, they're like, yeah, okay, sure. If somebody wanted you dead, you would be dead. And I'm like, no, not actually. They're like, why is that? Because God said, not one hair on my head shall be harmed. And all that cocaine they forced me to do, fucking Daniel and that fucking cartel fucktard. And that fucking Chris, Selena's boyfriend at the time. And fucking April. I thought you were my friend. No friend of mine. And Ashley, I loved her so. You know, ever since she was 4, and she always called me Aunt Kim too. And babies love me. You know, in the Hispanic community, it's a tradition. If you see a beautiful child, you're supposed to touch their face. Now it's like, yeah, don't touch my baby because, bird and swine flu. Well, FYI, I've had both, and that's why I never got COVID. But they were insisting at IRS that I take the fucking COVID shot. An immunization shot. Why, when I have an autoimmune condition? That shit'll kill me. Anybody with Crohn's or diverticulitis, any of that. And then they're fucking blocking my fucking videos saying that I'm saying false health information. But what I'm saying is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing else but the truth. I already had the swine and the bird flu, avian flu as they called it. They blamed the birds and the fucking pigs for what they were doing. I'm just so done, man. I started begging my God again, just take me home. And nobody's listening. Even your own people, they just sit idly by and by. And you said they're just as guilty, not us. So you have to wake them up because I have tried and tried. I can't get through with my only outlet. No cell phone service and email is full. Fuck you, Google. I'm not paying. And FYI, Chase fucking count now is negative $20-something because they keep charging you your fucking monthly fee. Why are you charging me a monthly fee when you're already draining the interest or drawing the interest off of my money that's in my bank account? And then you want to charge me extra and put me in debt? You diabolical bullshit corporations. You fucking monopolized. All these companies own the same companies, and it's just this one conglomerate of all these companies. And they lie and they work us to death and they steal your fucking ideas and everything. And they don't give you credit where credit's due. That's why it hurt my heart so bad. And then you leave me high and dry, knowing exactly that I am telling the whole truth. I've proved it fucking beyond a shadow of doubt. And you still leave me high and dry? A duck with this target on its back. I know they can't harm me, but at the same time, it breaks my heart. My own country, my own people leave me high and dry. Sending fucking lowlifes like that fucktard in Chicago. Tell everybody I'm your man, and will you fuck me if you're my woman? Telling me that I would take it up the ass. That's sodomy, and I say no. Sodom and Gomorrah. and getting thrashed. Tongues like, and he goes, "Look, I need my fucking shit. I need my shit that I had. You stole everything from me. You claim that I trashed up the place. Bullshit, it was you. I was gone from 2019 until 22. And I got attacked by that fucking dog in Leander. And they knew I was there because I was making videos and uploading them. I had cell phone service because I paid the fucking bill. I worked at IRS. I made good money. And then I just got a promotion because they were trying to move me out of the department from that fucking bully Sandra. And why did you allow her to bully me for an entire year, IRS, when you have zero bullying policy? And y'all say that I'm just full of conspiracies, but you're the one conspiring, not I. You come to me when I was at the beach. From April the 7th, 2026, I'm on the beach in Port A. It started at Tony almost rocked me Amadeus. And I found the little, look, I can show you. I found the little fucking zombie. Hey. Yeah, because, you know, we talking music, right? I got the, look. Hold on. I flip you. Hold on. This guy. I had one exactly like it, and I found this guy in the fucking trash. Isn't that interesting? I even found a fucking quartz crystal here in the parking lot. I shouldn't be finding a quartz crystal here in this parking lot while I'm picking up fucking screws everywhere. And everybody's like, well, there's screws everywhere here. Yeah, okay. You can't make this shit up, man. My shell, this actually, there's a crystal right here. That's a crystal. And there's a, hold on. You're just gonna have to be patient. Okay, see it? It's a form of the pearl and the oyster. It's the baby pearl is there. It's still there. See it? Come on, focus. You see the pearl? I do not cast my pearls amongst swine. Y'all do. Y'all did. Y'all continue. iHeartRadio. Oh, but look what I found at the beach. Anyway. My buttons. And, all kinds of shit. Hey. Yup. Where is he? I was cleaning the trash on the beach. Pink. And this is my bag of buttons and yeah. Come here. It's wood. And then all the buttons. And then, it's a little tooth bag. And then I find this little guy. Whoop, where'd you go? Look how tiny he is. It's a worm. No, it's an ant. You can't see, it's a queen ant. Whatever. And then the pom-pom. That's a ball. It's a marble. The kind that they put inside the stick on you. Anyway. Rocks. Power switch. It's a little bitty guy. Boxing glove. And then, of course, all the shells. That one looks like an ear. Can you hear me? This is a seed bean. They used to put them in their pockets and they would rub them until, and you know, it's like the medicine balls. They would rub them until it polished each other up. They would usually carry 3. Dum 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 dum, bitch. Zoom in, come on, fuck off. I'll mash you. And then, Red Rock Woman, you are a friend of mine. They stole all of my crystals, all of my heart rocks. Dada was like, that's fine, I'll give you more. And I'm like, but Daddy, they took the half moon rock with my 3 hearts from my people. And you just don't want to listen. I find this guy. It was in the middle of the road. Looked like dinosaur. If you can't see the crystal in the rock, you're stupid. Just like with the fucking limestone. It just looks like a regular poopy rock, huh? But if you look what's encased